Welcome to Golfing Idiots. Today we're going to talk about how to remove an adapter from a shaft. In this case it's the Titleist 913D. However, this same procedure will work for any of the manufacturer's shafts out there. So let's get started. Okay, so the first step is to remove the ferrule. So let's apply heat and take that off there. Once you start to see it bubble up a little bit, just take your hook blade, slide it right under there, and it should come off pretty easy. It's a little cold out here in the shop tonight, so watch yourself. Make sure you don't burn yourself fooling with either the heat gun or the ferrule when you pull it off. So, ferrule's removed. Now all we have left is a shaft adapter. The next step in this process is to take a adapter. You can buy these. Let me show you what it is. It's just a nice screw adapter. It's just like what goes into the actual, that comes from the head of the driver, in this case Titleist 913D, and it fits snug and properly within the adapter. Comes in a kit. I believe it's Golf Works that you can get them from. Relatively inexpensive, but this covers everything. Cobra, Ping, TaylorMade, Nike, and Titleist. We're going to take the washer that comes with the set. It's pretty thick and heavy so that you can apply pressure on this to pull the adapter off once you have heat applied and have broken down the epoxy within the adapter. It's too easy. Take it through here and you can just hand screw this on. Okay, you don't need to get your tool out in order to tighten it down or anything. It's just not needed. And this is going to be the brace, as far as it allows to put pressure through the shaft remover and remove the adapter. The first thing I like to do with this is to go ahead and get a good application of heat on the adapter itself to go ahead and start breaking down some of the epoxy before I place it within the shaft puller to remove the adapter. There we go. Once I've gotten my heat applied to the adapter in a decent amount, I'm going to go ahead and place it in the extractor. As you can see here, the washer lines up against the back here nicely, sits down, and we're going to go ahead and load this. Once we get enough of a load on it, it doesn't take a whole lot because this is just it's not going to take a lot of pressure once the epoxy breaks down with this adapter. It doesn't already start to pull a little bit now. And then we'll go ahead and apply heat on the adapter. So the rest of the epoxy breaks down, and there it goes. Nice and easy. It's just that quick. The epoxy is broken down, and now we're releasing. So with that, let's go ahead and remove the pressure. And off she comes. As you can see, the adapter is going to be a little bit hot when it first comes off, so handle it with care. Adapter pops right off. Okay, it'll have to be cleaned out on the inside, as you can tell, but that's too easy to do. And there's the shaft, so no damage at all. You can take this adapter right here and place it on another shaft. In this case, we're going to replace it on this shaft. We've already got it, the tip ready to go. We're going to clean this out. Take a drill with your bit on it. Back the power down some. You don't want it too strong in your hand when you're just holding this. Use gloves and just get that cleaned out. Just break that epoxy down, get it out of there. Shouldn't be a whole lot of residue. Clean it out. And be ready to go. Okay, now that we've got the adapter ready to place it on the new shaft, Let's see what we need here. As far as I've got glass shafting beads to mix with the epoxy. The epoxy that I'm using is from Golf Works, and it's the maximum strength tour set plus epoxy. So this is the same type of epoxy I would use as far as applying an iron head to a shaft. Even though it's an adapter, I still go with this just to get a good strong bond. The adapter itself that's cleaned out, ready to go. You'll need, of course, a stick to stir up your epoxy when we apply it to our application pad, and make sure your shaft's ready to go. We're going to mix up our epoxy, mix in our glass shafting beads, and apply this adapter back on the new shaft. I've got my epoxy mixed up, ready to go there. Make sure you take your ferrule. Always check the depth on it to see exactly how far it is the adapter comes down and where the ferrule should be seated. That way you get a clean seat with the ferrule on the adapter. It's not too shallow and it's not too deep as far as when you place it on there. Some ferrules, some people apply epoxy and place them on, some don't. Some just get the right size and get them extremely tight as far as down on the shaft. I like to place just a touch of epoxy on the shaft and then place the ferrule on, and that way it just gets, to me, a good bond, just in case there's any looseness later on that could occur, between hot and cold. It can change, so you just kind of spin this on there just a little bit and then seat it right on the shaft. And now that we've got the ferrule seated, we're going to take the epoxy. Again, you don't need a ton of this to make this work. You want to get enough on the shaft. This is really almost an art form. It's something you got to kind of learn as you go. But too much is not good because it will cause problems potentially with the bond and the buildup. Place it on the shaft about that much. And then I'm going to take a little bit of epoxy. I'm going to place it also on the inside of the adapter, so we get just a little bit in there, get a good bond, and then we're going to place it down and twist and turn, kind of back and forth, work out any air that's in there, make sure there's a good smooth seating of the adapter on the shaft, and then that's it. I'm going to set it down here. You're going to let it dry. Now I usually take the adapter and I'll put it on the manufacturer's like baseline setting. So for the Titleist, it's the A1 setting. And then I'm going to check the shaft and see where we're at, because this is the front of the shaft where it would meet up, and so the adapter is actually in the back. But I mean, you can line this up any way you want. There's nothing specific that says you have to do it one way or the other, especially when you're going to move the shafts around anyway, and it changes the location of logos and things of that nature when you just change with the different settings on the head. Once you get it on there, take an epoxy wipe. These are great as far as to clean up, get the goo off. So Golf Works again. Take an epoxy wipe, just wipe around the shaft, get all the goo if you've got any on there as far as any epoxy, so you don't have to fight with that later to get it off, and set it aside and let it dry. Depending on your epoxy will depend on the time for the full-on setting. Some vary, so usually take the strength of this size, usually about 6 hours. Which is really no time at all. 60 degrees or above is what's usually normal. If it's lower than that, then it can take longer as far as the epoxy to set. And that's all there is to it. You've got a year-old adapter on a new shaft ready to go. And that prevents you from having to buy additional adapters, or if you break a shaft or whatever it may be that causes you to have to replace a shaft in your favorite driver. All you've got to do is just simply remove the adapter and place it on. It's as easy as that. So, hey, leave any comments. You got any questions, leave them below. I'll be glad to answer them. So, thanks for watching.